Is Bitcoin a scam? On the day that I'm recording this video, a single Bitcoin is trading for $57,425. I have been watching Bitcoin since 2014 when it was trading at about $317 per share. And now today, it's trading at over $57,000 per Bitcoin. Hey everyone, it's Prashant here. Welcome to my YouTube channel and thank you for joining me in today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about Bitcoin. I'm going to be telling you exactly what Bitcoin is, what it's used for, and what are my thoughts about investing in Bitcoin. Let's dive in. So let's start with discussing exactly what Bitcoin is. Simply put, Bitcoin is a decentralized cryptocurrency. What this means is that it is a completely online currency. There are no coins or paper money that go with this currency. On top of that, there is no central bank that guarantees the value or the authenticity of each transaction. Let me explain what this means a little bit more. Today, when we send money from one bank account to another, we basically give instructions to our bank to send money from our account to someone else's account, whether it's in the same bank or another bank. To do this, we are actually putting our trust into the banking system. And to make sure that people have trust in the banking systems, governments around the world set rules that the banks in those countries have to live by. So in essence, what we are doing when we put that transfer order is that we're putting our trust in a centralized system, which includes the banks as well as the governments, to make sure our financial systems keep working as they should. After the 2008 financial crisis and a failure of some big banks, there was a general atmosphere of distrust in banks and the government. Out of this distrust, Bitcoin was born. A technical paper was published in October 2009 advocating for a peer-to-peer cash system, or Bitcoin, published by Satoshi Nakamoto. I'm going to put a link to this paper in the description box below so you can read it in its entirety if you want to. Unfortunately, we don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, or even if it is one person or even a group of people. And if anybody knows, they're not telling. Guys, before we continue with this video, I want to take a moment to ask you to hit that like button and that subscribe button and share this video with somebody who you think might find this content interesting. This helps me out a lot with the YouTube algorithm and motivates me to keep making these videos. Now, let's get back to it. Alright, shortly after this paper was published, on January 3rd, 2009, the Bitcoin network came into being. The basic premise of Bitcoin is as follows. 1. The total number of Bitcoin that will be mined ever is fixed at 21 million Bitcoins. This makes it different than any other currency in the world because in theory, central banks and governments can print as much money as they want. Second, if you listen closely, I use the word mined. How is Bitcoin mined? Bitcoin is mined by solving complex computational problems, which requires a lot of computing power. In theory, this can be done by anybody like yourself. In fact, there are large industrial scale facilities that are popping up around the world who focus solely on Bitcoin mining. There are facilities like this all across the US, Europe, China, and elsewhere. Third, since there is no central authority keeping a check on everything, every transaction, including mining of a new coin, as well as transfer of a coin from one person to another, is recorded on a ledger. And this ledger is distributed to every computer on the Bitcoin network. If anybody in the network tries to cheat the system and creates a fake entry in the ledger, this entry will not match every other entry on the ledger that every other computer will have. And this will prompt the system to reject it as a fake. Number 4, privacy. Since Bitcoin account numbers are a string of letters and numbers and no names are necessarily associated with it, it is virtually impossible to know who owns which account. This offers Bitcoin transactions a high level of privacy, similar to using good old cash. Alright, now that we understand what Bitcoin is, let us now talk about its crazy price history. As I understand it, the creator or creators of Bitcoin were trying to create an alternative currency so that people may be able to use something else other than traditional currencies such as the dollar or the pound to buy anything. Now you might ask, Prashant, why would anybody use Bitcoin to buy anything? Well, let me ask you this. Why do you use the US dollar? What makes this piece of paper mean anything? It's not like the US dollar is backed by gold, so there is no vault full of gold that backs this currency. So why do people believe that this $20 bill can buy me pizza? Well, because the US government said so. The US government says that this piece of paper means something. It is worth something. And the people believe that government. And since the people believe the US government, they believe that this $20 bill is worth something and can be used to buy something. And that something can be a family-sized pizza. That's it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If people believe that this $20 bill has some value, then it has that value. So if people believe that Bitcoin has some value, it will end up having some value. So this is what the creators of Bitcoin were trying to do. They were trying to create a currency that people can use for their commonplace transactions, such as buying pizza or groceries or whatever else that they want to buy. Even though there are some isolated cases where Bitcoin has indeed been used for commonplace transactions, including paying for pizza, this is not widespread. However, what has happened is that people have started trading Bitcoin on the stock market just like any other currency. What this means is people are able to use their conventional currencies, such as the dollar or the pound or whatever it might be, and use that to buy and sell Bitcoin just like any other investment on the stock market. Bitcoin first started trading on the stock market in July of 2010, when it was trading for about 8 cents per Bitcoin, basically nothing. After this, Bitcoin started increasing in value steadily till 2014, when it was trading about $317 at the end of the year. It then traded at similar levels till 2017, and then it started a rapid price increase, increasing to more than $15,000 per Bitcoin by the end of December 2017. After this high, it crashed enormously, falling to just $3,600 per Bitcoin by January of 2019. After that, the next big price increase came in 2020, when lockdowns went into effect around the world. Because of these lockdowns, there was a fear of widespread recession around the world, similar to 2008, and Bitcoin became exciting again. The price increased to 11,600 by August of 2020, 15,000 by November, and 26,000 by December of 2020. And then 2021 started, and the price started going even crazier. It went to $38,000 on January 3rd, 2021. And then Elon Musk started tweeting about it. And we all know what happens when Elon Musk starts tweeting about anything. In February 2021, Elon's company Tesla announced that they had holdings of Bitcoin of approximately $1.5 billion, and they will soon start accepting Bitcoin as payment for their Tesla cars. After this announcement, the price of Bitcoin skyrocketed to $57,000 as of February 20th, 2021. So, what do I think? Is Bitcoin a scam? Looking at its decentralized nature and the fact that anyone who wants it has access to record of every transaction, I don't think it is a scam. I think this is just so new and different that we're all just confused about it. In fact, if we think about history and when centralized currencies came into being, I bet the people then were pretty confused about it too. I bet they found it really confusing to use this piece of paper for their transactions rather than just gold or other precious metals. Maybe we're experiencing a shift of how things work when it comes to money and financial systems, and we're all just confused about this. I think it's really funny that Bitcoin was meant to be a decentralized standalone currency for everyday transactions, and instead people just started trading it on the stock market using their centralized currencies instead. I think this defeats the entire purpose, but hey, what are you gonna do? I think governments around the world are also behind on this because even they don't know what's going on with Bitcoin. I think they're going to try and regulate the trade and use of this currency just like any other currency around the world. But they're behind on this, partly because the blockchain technology underlying Bitcoin is so complex. Already, the IRS requires you to declare right on the front page of your federal annual tax return if you have bought or sold any cryptocurrency throughout the year. And in addition to that, they are actually treating all Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency transactions as transaction in any other stock and want to tax them in a similar manner. So I think Bitcoin is here to stay. Although I don't see a future where people completely move away from a centralized government-backed currency to a decentralized one anytime soon, I do see Bitcoin as becoming one of those investments that is super volatile and people invest in it in order to make some quick money. Maybe I'm wrong, and 50 years from now, I'm using Bitcoin for every transaction, from buying pizza to a house. I think it'll be very interesting to see where things go in the next few decades. While I like the idea of everyone having more visibility in the opaque world of how the world's financial system works, the concept is so new that it leaves me a little bit uncomfortable. On top of that, I trust in professionals and somewhat prefer to leave the running of big financial systems in their hands. Now, don't get me wrong, I think these people can make mistakes too, and sometimes their mistakes can get all of us in trouble. We only have to look back to the 2008 financial crisis for a prime example of this. But that being said, on balance, with the appropriate regulation in place, I think our financial system works just fine. But maybe I'm mistaken, and an overall decentralized financial system is better for everybody. I'm very interested to see what happens, and I'm going to be keeping my eyes and ears open to see what happens with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in the near future. Now to the final question. Do I own any Bitcoin? And the answer is, sadly, no. Now, looking back, I wish I had bought Bitcoin back in 2014 when I first learned about it. At the time, it was trading at around $317. If I had bought just one and held on to it till today, I would have made more than $56,000 in profit. That number is so huge that it's difficult for me to even comprehend such a profit. Unfortunately, back in 2014, I thought that Bitcoin was not a viable concept. I thought it was just a new fad that would die out pretty soon. To be honest with you, in 2014, I was a student and spending $300 on something that might not be worth anything was not a risk that I was willing to take. In fact, even today, I'm very risk averse and I use index funds to invest for the long term. I'm working on a video right now on using index funds to invest for the future. Subscribe to my channel so that you can watch that video when it comes out. That being said, I've been thinking about getting into cryptocurrency lately, using a few $100s that I can afford to lose. I'm trying to decide whether to go and buy a fraction of a Bitcoin or something else like Dogecoin, which is trading at similar levels that Bitcoin was back in 2010. So what do you think? Should I invest in cryptocurrencies? If yes, which one? Bitcoin, Dogecoin, or something else? Let me know in the comment section below. That's all I have for you guys in today's video, and I hope you really liked this video. And if you did, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up icon. And if you didn't like it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up icon because it's free. If you have any questions or comments about Bitcoin, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below and I will respond to you. Also, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so you get notified instantly when I post a new video. I post at least one new video every week on great new financial content, and I hope to see you back here. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram where I post every week. I'll leave the handle down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.